Hello, my name is Dan. I work for the MJUSD Technology Department, and this is a quick video to help explain what you can do with these new HP docks that you guys will be getting soon. Now, I highly recommend you watch this video first in its entirety and just focus on learning what you can do with it, and do not worry about trying to figure out how you will set it all up. I have a second video that you should watch after this one, and that video goes into detail to explain how you connect this thing and set it up. It's really not that bad. You're just plugging in cables one at a time. I have received teacher feedback that the second video makes way more sense after you first watch this one and learn what the docks can do and what their purpose is. So that little HP dock back there, that little block thing, allows you to take every single cable that you have plugged into your laptop and remove them from the laptop and plug them into the back of the dock instead. This includes cables such as the USB cable coming out of your smartboard or your document camera or even your printer. You can also take cables such as an Ethernet cable or a charge cable and plug those into the back of the dock as well. You no longer need to bring your charge cable to work for your laptop. The docks will charge it instead. You can then come into work and put your laptop on the table, plug in this single cable that's coming out of the dock, and you're good to go. Additionally, these docks will allow you to connect up to 3 additional monitors or screens to your laptop. So if we're counting, we have 3 additional monitors or screens, plus the screen that's built in on your laptop. That's 4 screens. That's pretty cool. However, we probably don't need to connect that many screens. We're only going to focus on connecting 2. And then we'll have the one that's built in on your laptop already, so then you'll have a total of 3 screens. Here, you'll see that I have the laptop itself, which is its own little screen. I'm going to keep referring to that as screen 1. In the back, we have the projector and smartboard. Projector is up there, so you can't really see it, but you have the smartboard. I'm going to keep referring to the projector and smartboard as screen 2. We also have this additional monitor here. I'm going to keep calling this screen 3. The purpose of having 3 screens like this is to help provide you the opportunity to teach in a hybrid learning model. So you could be teaching kids on the smartboard here that are in the classroom, and simultaneously the kids that are at home could be on Zoom and seeing what's on your laptop, because I'm going to have the screen 2, the projector, and screen 1, your laptop, duplicated. So those are going to mirror each other. Every single thing you do on the laptop will appear on the smartboard. Everything on the smartboard appears on the laptop. Great. All the kids at home and the classroom can see. At the same time, I have this monitor here, and this is where the gallery view for all the students in Zoom will be. So that way you can keep checking in on their smiling faces and making sure they're paying attention, or to see if they have, questions or whatever. You can have the Zoom chat up on this window, gallery view, whatever you need. I'm going to start off discussing Zoom, and then we'll do a brief overview on Google Meet, but they're both going to work pretty similarly. So again, I have screen 1, which is my laptop, and screen 2, which is the smartboard, set to duplicate each other. I'm going to show this example by bringing up a photo. Now, every single thing that I do here is mirrored exactly on the laptop and the smartboard. So if I wanted to discuss this with students in the classroom, I could do so, and the students at home would also be able to see. The way I'm going to do that here is I'm actually going to, first I'm going to start my video for Zoom. You'll notice that in the Zoom meeting, it's myself and Derek Thomas from our technology department. I don't have a full class worth of students to showcase this with, but you get the idea. If we did have a full class, all of their cameras would be right there. So I'm going to turn my camera on, and I'm going to share my screen. I am going to choose to share screen 1, which is, in this case, my laptop. But because 1 and 2 are duplicating, I'm choosing the same thing. So I'm going to choose 1, and I'm going to share that. Now, what happens is the gallery view of the cameras pops up on screen 3 over here. And if I had chat open, I could have that viewable here as well. So actually, let me go through and open chat right now. Great, so I opened it, and now I'm going to drag it over to screen 3 so I can see their faces and read if anyone has questions and types it up. I can now go through and teach the students in the classroom what I need to on the smartboard here, and everything that I'm saying and doing will also get sent to the students at home because I have screen 1 duplicated. So to show this, I'm actually going to use the smartboard. Now, as you can see, using Smart Ink, which is already going to be on your laptops, I can use the pens, draw on the board, and it'll show up on the laptop. And because I am sharing this screen with the students at home, they are going to be seeing the exact same thing as well. Another thing that we can do here is to bring up a web page, and I'll do that now. So if I bring up this page, again, you'll see that I can draw on the smartboard using the pens. Students at home can see it, and then I can have this monitor facing wherever I'll be standing, so that way I can see the gallery view for the students. And the last little bit here that I wanted to show, I'm actually going to keep that because that's great, is a document camera. So you'll see that I have an AVer plugged in over there. So I'm going to open up Sphere 2 because that's the one that you use with the AVers. And I can now showcase that. So anything that I have on that little desk over there under the AVer will appear here, and I can teach the students at home and in the classroom at the same time. Go through the exact same methods that we can use for both. Now, in this example, I'm using an AVer camera, which you see right there. So I would use Sphere 2 with the AVers. You can also do the same thing with an Elmo. If you have an Elmo document camera, however, you're not going to use Sphere 2, you're going to open up ImageMate, which again is on your laptop. And I think a lot of teachers are pretty familiar with ImageMate. If they have Elmos already, you can just double click on that. It'll detect the Elmo, you're good to go. Another third option for you is to click on the Windows Start button in the bottom or left corner and type in camera, or start to type in camera and then give up, and click on the app that appears. And you will pull up the camera app, which will pull the video from the document camera. It doesn't matter if you're using an AVer or an Elmo, the camera app will be able to work with both of those. At a lot of the school sites that have the newer Elmos, we're actually finding that the camera app seems to be working best for them. And again, we can do the same thing. Great. So now we will close that out. You'll notice that when I closed the camera app out, the drawings I made on it with Smart Ink disappeared as well. Great. I'm going to go ahead and end this Zoom meeting because I want to go over how to use this with Google Meet. Okay, I'm going to go to meet.google.com and start a meeting. There we go. I am now within a Google Meet session. Currently it's myself in here only, but the same rules apply. You can pull up the list of all participants. You could open up chat if you wanted. You could have all of this on your third monitor. And then let's go back here, pull up the photo. And if I want to share this, so now I can choose what I want to share. I'm going to select screen 1, share that. So I am now presenting my screen. So the students at home are seeing what's on screen 1. The students in the classroom are seeing what's on screen 2, and because these two are duplicating, is the exact same thing. And then I can have a view of the students here and have also the chat open on screen 3. And again, same rules apply. You may share your document camera, you can use Smart Ink, whatever you need. You can have your speaker and microphone on, so that way you can be talking to the kids at home as well as the kids in the classroom at the same time. They should be able to hear each other, assuming you have loud enough speakers, and that should be good to go. All right, and that is a quick little overview of how to use these docks in a hybrid learning model. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact the technology department and we will do our best to help you in any way we can. I now recommend you go through and watch the second video in its entirety, and that second video will explain how you set this thing up and how you plug everything in. I promise it's nowhere near as bad as it may seem in the beginning. I have had some teachers give me feedback on it, and they indicated that it did make sense after they watched it all the way through. It's just basically plugging in one cable at a time. You do have multiple options. If you watch that video, you'll notice that I explained how to connect this monitor here using a special cable that the district has purchased for you. However, if you have an HDMI cable already and you want to use that, great. One end of the HDMI cable goes in here, the other end goes in the back of the dock, and you're done. If there are any other aspects of this dock you want me to cover, please let me know. I will happily email you back, or I'll make another one of these videos, because I'll be honest, I kind of enjoy making them. Other than that, you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you.